Hi there, this is Craig back from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Welcome to today's video blog, which is entitled Dating After Quitting Alcohol. I mean, how's that supposed to work? This is a big concern for people. And actually, look, what I'm going to tell you here is there's a huge benefit to dating without alcohol, as you would expect me to say, but I'm going to explain why. Now, alcohol causes huge damage to relationships. That is obvious. Everyone knows that. Living with an alcoholic, living with a problem drinker is no fun. And now, if you've got two people who are problem drinkers living together, then you've got ostrich syndrome. Everyone sticks their head in the sand and pretends it's not happening. And that can seem very nice for a while until problems start to appear. But the other thing about alcohol is it covers up issues and problems, quite significant problems sometimes. You know, sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody who you just shouldn't be in a relationship with. It's just not healthy. You're not getting anything out of it. They're not getting anything out of it. You are in a broken relationship and you shouldn't be there. But if you drink, you avoid dealing with this issue. All you want to do is drink. So you just pretend that the problems aren't there. And this can go on for years and decades in many cases. So people end up in the misery of alcoholism, but also in the misery of a broken relationship that doesn't serve them. Now, when I stopped drinking, it also coincided with the end of my marriage. Now, that's not because the alcohol stopping the alcohol caused the end of my marriage, but rather it was a point in my life where I decided enough is enough. I'm going to have to start taking care of myself a little better. You know, I'm going to have to get this poison out of my life. I'm going to have to eat better. I'm going to have to lose a bit of weight, go to the gym, just start loving myself for the first time. And when you do that, you start to reassess all the areas of your life. And you raise your standards a little bit and you say, no, I want more than this. And so sometimes stopping drinking can end a relationship. And that's a good thing. I know it sounds like, oh, well, I better keep drinking then. But why would you want to stay in a broken relationship? So that's the first thing. So, you know, personally, I ended up being single again and sober for the first time in 20 years. And that's quite difficult to deal with because, you know, dating's scary, isn't it? And a bit of Dutch courage is what you think you need. How do you go dating without having a drink? So whether you're in the same situation as me, as you're kind of middle-aged, a bit older, and you're back out there single again, or if you're a young guy or girl and you're single and dating without alcohol, this video is for you. Now, the first thing that I discovered is that some women refused to date me when they found out that I don't drink. In fact, the most extreme example I have of that is I had a date one Sunday afternoon with a lady, and she texted me 1 hour before the date and said, "Do you drink?" And I replied, "No, not at all." And she replied, "Well, we better not meet then. I don't feel comfortable dating somebody who doesn't drink." And I was a bit upset about this. I felt a bit rejected, you know, like, and I felt a little bit resentful of my sobriety, that, you know, this not drinking had cost me a date with this beautiful woman. Now, what I now know in hindsight is that she was an alcoholic, because people who don't have a problem with alcohol don't do that. You know, if you're a problem drinker, then you can't bear to spend time with a sober person because it causes so much psychological pain for you. You have to sneak drinks when they're not looking to try and make your drinking look normal. You can't have a drink whenever you want because, oh, they'll be judging you. And so people who are addicted to alcohol desperately don't want to hang around with us teetotalers. And while I missed out on a date with a beautiful woman, I mean, the worst case scenario is there is we went out on a date and it went really well, and I ended up in a relationship with an alcoholic. And I can tell you from experience, it's not a good place to be. I lived with a woman for a while who had a drink problem, not a severe one, but a developing one, I would call it. And while I was never tempted to drink alcohol with her, it would crush me. It would absolutely destroy me to watch this beautiful, intelligent, sexy woman turn into a stupid, brainless zombie when she drank. And she really was. She went from incredibly intelligent to incredibly stupid in the space of about 40 minutes. And that was a very painful situation to be in. So your goal when you stop drinking is to get into a healthy relationship with somebody else who drinks in moderation, or even better, doesn't drink at all. Because life is so much easier. It's so much more beautiful when you're with somebody who has a limited intake of alcohol. My current partner, Daniela, we've been together a few years now, and I think in the last year I've seen her drink 2 beers. And that's amazing, because it means we never have alcohol in the house. We never waste a weekend with a crappy hangover. We never upset each other by doing something stupid when we're drunk. It just makes life so much better. So that's your goal. But the other thing I worked out is that sober guys are more valuable than drinking guys. And here's why. And I apologize that this is mainly aimed at men now, because I can only speak from my own personal experience. There are some things that you can say on a first date that will set off huge warning signs in the mind of any woman who's looking to get into a long-term relationship. I mean, obviously, if you talk very sort of like kind of laissez-faire about infidelity, if you think, cheating's not that bad, there's a huge warning sign, but that's obvious, isn't it? Mention that you go to the casino lots, or that you love to bet on the horses, and I'm telling you now, if this woman is assessing you to see if you're a long-term prospect, there's a red flag goes up. She's thinking, uh-oh, does this guy have a problem with gambling? Equally, if every single story, every single anecdote you tell starts with, oh, I was drunk this one time, and she's thinking, whoa, does this guy have a drink problem? And because a lot of women, certainly around my age, kind of middle age and onwards, a lot of women have been in relationships with guys who are addicts, whether that's gambling or alcohol or drugs. They know how desperately painful that situation is. They know that that relationship will end up in distrust and dishonesty. And they don't want to fall in love with a guy who they can't trust. Because when you're addicted, you do dishonest things. So when you talk about going gambling or drinking a lot, certainly you can sometimes see it, their eyes widen, there's a little flag goes up and they go, whoa, something to watch there. So sober guys are more valuable. They're more reliable. They're more dependable. They're more likely to be solid providers. And I'm not saying that in an old-fashioned women want the man to pay for everything. Women just want solid, mature, reliable men who are successful, who can hold down a job and pay their way. Not pay for everything, but just pay their way. This is what women value in a man. And so you are a more valuable man when you don't drink. But perhaps the most significant element, certainly in the initial stages of dating, is non-drinkers are more attractive because they're more likely to invest in their appearance. They're more likely to take care of themselves. They're more likely to take their health seriously. Drinkers spend all their spare cash on booze. If they're given a choice of buying some nice clothes or buying some booze, they'll buy the booze. They look tired all the time because they don't sleep very well. They may be in bed for a long time, but they're not getting good quality sleep. They look bloated and blotchy, and they're generally overweight. And they don't take good care of themselves. They're in a self-abusive, self-destructive cycle. They're drinking poison for fun. So how can they take their health seriously? So all this adds up to, value. You meet if you're a guy and you meet a woman and she's an alcoholic, she's not taking care of herself. She's going to look bad. She's going to feel bad. Her mental state is bad. What she does with her money is bad. You're just getting into a traumatic relationship with someone who refuses to deal with the problem. So while the temptation is to say dating without alcohol is difficult and a problem, it's not. It's actually the wrong way round, like everything with alcohol. When you take the alcohol out of dating, what you end up with is a much better situation. Everything is better. And if you still believe that alcohol gives you courage, then watch my other videos on Dutch courage, because it's a fallacy. Alcohol doesn't make you confident or courageous or brave. It makes you stupid. And guess what? Stupid is never attractive. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions, post them below or drop me an email at the website www.stopdrinkingexpert.com. My name's Craig Beck. Thank you for watching.